What's up, world? I hope you're having a great day. It's October 10th, right around 5 p.m. I'm in my car outside of my son's gymnastics class. We're getting ready to go to the gym. This is my pre workout. It's about the closest thing that I've been getting this month to any kind of a head change, I'd say. Um, Today's went really well. Went to therapy this morning. I do individual therapy every other week, usually. Let me see, about 2 years ago, I started doing the therapy on the veteran side through the VA. And then at one point, just through the progress of that, I switched to the civilian side. So now I've got a civilian therapist that's more versed with relationships, marriage, children, civilized PC culture. Whereas the previous person was, more war, PTSD, trauma, self-destructive behavior kind of stuff. So, I'm putting this information out there because it's important to be vulnerable. It's important to show and talk about the truth. I could pretty easily put on a front. I didn't have to do the Sober October. I could have picked any reason to start doing these videos. But there is something that people miss when they try to put up a front. Nobody has it all figured out, people. I promise you. And the people that claim that they do the most are the ones you really need to be staying away from. I'm here trying to learn and grow myself, and whoever I can collaborate with, if it's a symbiotic relationship, then that will be great. And if not, then we can hopefully both move on or whatever. But regardless, therapy went fantastic. I'm just working on trying to stay humble, trying to stay motivated, and understanding that fine line between working hard and overworking myself, between having goals and spreading myself too thin. So it's kind of an impossible thing to really know, and hindsight is really the only way to get that 2020. But not thinking about it and not talking about it and not opening yourself up to criticism or other ideas is definitely not going to work as well. So here we are with that. After that, we basically I just did some housework, and then we went and got Leon from his Spanish language immersion school. And then we've just basically spent the rest of the day just, organizing. My wife went to piano practice. It's really good to constantly be trying to develop new skills, constantly putting yourself in uncomfortable circumstances, constantly being okay with who you are today, but not being okay with your today self living on in the future. These are the type of things that I've been consumed with recently. So I've been also thinking about future projects past this Sober October challenge. Right now, I am dedicated to staying as completely non-religious, non-political, not bringing certain types of energy into this particular project. However, I am interested in that social element. I'm interested in that other stuff. So with that, I like the idea of starting an actual formal podcast. It doesn't have to, it's definitely not going to be super regular. I don't know exactly how quick it's just going to take off, and it's not going to be like the sole focus of my life or anything, but through brainstorming about that, I've come up with a name, and I've been pitching some stuff around in my head and out loud a little bit here and there, and nothing's really stuck until now. And so I'm thinking about calling it Off Script with Carl Shepard. And the reason why I would call it Off Script is because in this current modern PC culture, there are so many aspects of life, so many opinions that can generate a lot of hate, and a lot of people know exactly what they have to say to avoid ridicule, and they know what they have to say to kind of, keep their tight little friends group, keep everybody happy at work, whatever it is. And you know who you are. How often do you bite your tongue because you just don't feel like either being that person or experiencing that conflict or generating possibly some kind of, tension? And that's okay in the moment. Don't beat yourself up for that, because you got to do what you got to do, especially when it has to do with your job and your livelihood, or these big deals. Luckily for me, though, one rare thing I've been trying to isolate what my potentials might be, and it turns out that I'm free. I'm free in every sense of the word. I've said this in a previous video, but my wife and my kids are the only people that have any kind of sway over me whatsoever, and I have that potential to bring thought into the open that is uncomfortable or otherwise, not PC. People say, oh, well, if you don't believe this or if you don't support this, then you're just automatically the enemy or whatever. Well, I want to unpack some of that stuff. It really gets to me, and when it's all in my own head, I don't have any feedback on it. I'm not getting that, full experience like I want. So I need to shed some light on that, and I want to bring some people into the conversation. And so that's going off script. I want to go places where just, that normal mainstream culture does not want us to go, because that's what America's all about, in my opinion. And honestly, that's the only way that our society is going to evolve in a positive direction. I want us to move forward. I'm not stuck in the past. I want, things to change in a progressive way. I want people to feel more comfortable all around the world, and especially in America, to live an examined life, to decide, okay, this is who I am, and be able to live it freely and not fear. But that goes from, that's everybody, though. It can't just be, one group or another. It's got to be fully across the board. And so, I don't know. Off script with Carl Shepard. That's what I'm going to go with, at least for now. And if I don't end up going with that, or if it doesn't end up happening, then this video is the proof that I dropped the ball. So call me out on it, please. I talked a little bit about fitness. I think we're going to be going to the gym after this, doing CrossFit. I'm going to do like a 20-minute EMOM. I need to be working on my lower back. As far as diet goes, I've had a nice clean eating day. I ate chicken and vegetables and a protein bar, and just, drink a lot of water. Looking forward to dinner. I'm going to cook some fresh chicken. And I like those 10-pound leg thigh combos from like Walmart or Sam's Club or Hy-Vee. They've got them everywhere. It's just a bag of the leg and thigh together. It's called like a chicken quarter or whatever. And the reason I like those is because on average, that's one serving of meat for me. Like, sometimes they're a little small, sometimes they're a little bigger, but given a month's time, if you eat one of those per serving, then it's going to average out to be just the right amount of protein. So it just fits. Not like it's the only thing, but that's why I like them. Plus it's cheap. I guess the real reason I like it's because it's cheap. So whatever. Other than that, let's see here. My mood, yeah, I don't know. Everybody I interact with either just can't tell any difference, or I even had somebody tell me that they thought it was a positive change that I wasn't smoking as much. Cool. So that's great. Whatever. When I go back to smoking, it's not going to be every day, and it's not going to be like it was. I've thought a little bit about that, how I kind of got to that point where I was, pretty much using the marijuana kind of as a supplement in a way, or like a prescription. And really it boils down to not only my own journey to figure out the best means for me to resolve my own personal stress or to process or however, but it really honestly did come from a place where I wanted to experience the experience of what is going to be happening to these vets that will be smoking weed once, you know, it's mainstream available. I know that it's already passed in Missouri. You know, it's medically legal here. The framework for it to actually be implemented quite isn't in place yet, but as a 60% disabled, you know, veteran myself, disabled, such a funny word, service connected, 60% service connected. I wanted to know, like, okay, what is it actually like? What's this gonna look like as a prescription type of thing, where it's a ritual, a daily practice of organizing yourself around, you know, this stability with THC and CBD involved, and having, you know, basically lived a year like that, I am even more convinced that this is the right way to go. This crushes prescription drugs. I think that it's going to be very, very beneficial to veterans, and there's just no way around that. You know, that's my opinion, and now I can definitely say that I've got the life experience to back that up. You know, so sleep. The reason that I'm doing this video right now is my sleep. I want to, you know, make it home after the gym and just have a nice smooth night and spend that time like I always do with my family, and then go to bed instead of, you know, staying up a little extra late and cranking out another one of these videos. This one's turning out great anyway. It's like 12 minutes long. I can't imagine why anybody would listen to me ramble on for 12 minutes anyway, so oh man. Yeah, I'm definitely doing this project for myself more than anything else, but since they're on the internet, it's going to be there forever, and I know some of you guys are going to stumble across this stuff, so yeah, I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate the interest. I appreciate the feedback. I honestly am getting a decent little amount of feedback. I've gotten, you know, I've been having people just hit me up out of nowhere. People that, in some cases, in at least a few cases, have no reason whatsoever to contact me and talk to me about it, especially not sending me positive encouragement. So that just tells me I must be on to something. You know, that tells me it's validating, and it's cool. So I don't know how many more videos. I'm probably going to do a couple in a row where it's just like this. I just sit around and kind of pick a general framework and then just blah blah blah, blah, you know, kind of ramble on, spew. It's called extemporaneously talking, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a skill. There's something to that, you know. I don't know. I say too much. I do pause and have weird little things, but I don't know if there's any way to correct that without just doing these reps like I am right now. I hope that this is the correct way to progress. Man, my brainstorming has even went as far as, like, you know, some kind of fantasies about some kind of political thing, local political thing at least to start with. I have a feeling that my past would probably come back to haunt me on that one. I've got an arrest record, and yes, I've been to jail, and, you know, yes, I've been through a rehab program and whatnot. But I don't know, the reason why I still kind of have this fantasy about that, or why I'm not going to close the book on any kind of thought process in that way, is number one, because my significant other is a opposing politician's worst nightmare, man. She's got no skeletons. She is not only squeaky clean, but she's got an extremely high degree. She's beautiful. She's well spoken. I mean, honestly, if I could convince her to run, she could change the world, y'all. Like, she's pragmatic. She thinks things through. She's growing and progressing in her own personality and as a human being, right along, you know, side me, or, you know, probably dragging me along the way to a certain degree, where we're growing together. You know, that was another thing that kind of, you know, crystallized in my therapy session today, is that I honestly believe that we're not only both growing as individuals, but we're growing together in a really, really powerful way. And that synergy is not only going to make Family Shepherd a force to be reckoned with, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's a responsibility that comes with wealth and success, in my opinion. If somebody gets rich and powerful and then just tries to close the door behind them and just live some perfect Instagram life or whatever and not live an examined life like what I'm trying to do, that's, I mean, that's gross and that's a problem. You know, that's one of those you're the problem kind of things. So, you know, back in the day, part of the reason why I shunned money and I never really tried to blow up like that was because that I was scared of that kind of responsibility, man. I thought to myself, you know what, I'd probably just go buy a big bag of drugs and just go off on a corner somewhere and do no one no good whatsoever. Just be a turd or whatever. Just kind of grow in the wrong direction my own self. But now I've broke through that. I'm done with that. You know, I'm confident enough not only in me but in the support system that I've got. That's the thing, is it's not me. It's the whole picture that is now strong enough to allow me to start having some confidence to think on some of these higher wavelengths. And man, that's powerful. You know, that is something that just opens up a whole new kind of paradigm. It's almost like a new chapter of a book or something, a future book that I haven't written yet. I don't know, man. I'm on 16 minutes 40 seconds, y'all. This is crazy. So yeah, I don't know, I guess I'll just leave it there. I could probably pop off on the next thing, but looking at the clock, I'm gonna go back inside. My son's gonna be done with gymnastics pretty soon, so man, we're just, hey, whenever you start getting worried about, oh, are we going to survive? Is human race going to make it or whatever? Just realize that there's always been that threat at the gate. There's always been that next thing that nobody understands how it's going to work out from there. And here we are. We've got more resources than ever before. And I believe in us. I believe in us, people. We're going to make it. So there's my optimistic ending to this long-ass ramble. I appreciate y'all, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you. Goodbye.